Heaven's California.
Hey guys, I'm going to be reacting to 3 true scary Walmart horror stories by Mr. Nightmare. This is the first Mr. Nightmare video in like a week or two, I think. And by the way, if you're also wondering why my Raptors video came out a bit late, the Raptors won on June 13th, the whole thing. Technically here it was like almost midnight, but whatever. I think they won June 13th, they won the NBA championship, and my video is coming out, or my video is going to be already out when this is up. It's actually uploading right now. It was supposed to be like 36 minutes, now it's down to like 16. And they actually won. Like, you'll see my reaction, you'll see the downtown area, like not Toronto, it was somewhere else, but you'll see in the video. But it's only going to be celebrations, so you'll see. And if I have a cold sore, then or if you notice it, then yeah, I have a cold sore, don't mind that. But yeah, my friend works at Walmart actually, so this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Let's see what, and it's 3 horror stories, but it's 16 minutes, I'm almost 17, which is really good. So yeah, it's 1:30, late at night, let's do this, some horror stories. Always a good night when Mr. Night. I love when he uploads at night when there's like no one here, because I'm like, yes, I can do it freely right here in this room.
My name is Samantha. I'm 20 years old and I work at a Walmart by a small town called Jackson in Alabama. Since I don't go to school full-time, my boss would oftentimes put me on an overnight shift, back when the store was open 24 hours a day. Given that it was a supercenter, there would still be a number of employees working. My shift this one particular night was 10 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Oh, 10 to 7.
I was one of only a couple employees doing stock work, and there was 1 or 2 employees at registers up front. Given that our store sits in the countryside of Alabama, we didn't really get much business at these insane hours of the night. However, it was a prime restocking period. I didn't personally know the other employees working that night, but it's not like we'd run into each other in the giant store anyway. I started my night folding pants in the men's department and generally tidying up. I kept headphones in at night because usually there would be no one to tell me to take them out. The customer came to the jeans section, and at that time it was around 11:30 p.m., so it wasn't really that weird. People would still come in and close shop till usually around midnight. The customer came up to me and asked me if we had any more of the specific pants he found in a different waist size.
Okay.
I apologized and told him only whatever was on the rack. He thanked me and walked away. I made accidental eye contact with him as soon as he stood by the rack putting the jeans back. It was kind of awkward. He walked away and I continued with my work. Some time passed and the store started to look like a ghost town.
That's so creepy.
It could be seen as far as the eye could see. I think it was like 1 a.m.
I don't know.
I made my way over to the appliances section. I was doing a lot of back and forth work with boxes from the back section where we kept all the items that were yet to go out. I brought a wagon full of boxes to one of the aisles and started stocking the shelves. Because the shelves were empty though, I was able to see someone through the next aisle over.
And it was the
They
guy.
were watching me. Well, only up until he noticed me notice him. Then he looked away. But his eyes looked really familiar. I stepped closer to get a better view, and I realized it was the same customer from like 2 hours earlier. How in the world could he still be in the store?
Yeah, what's he doing?
Without making it obvious, I took the wagon with me and passed the next aisle over just to get a look and see if the man had any items in his hands. His hands were completely empty. No way could he be shopping for 2 hours and not pick up a single thing.
He's not shopping, he's stocking.
Something wasn't right.
Yep.
I quickly finished up restocking the shelf with coffee machines and other appliances, then brought the empty wagon to the back area. I chilled out in there for a while because, quite frankly, I felt like that guy might have been following or watching me longer than I realized.
He was.
I played on my phone for a little while in the employee lounge. Then when I figured it was time to get back to work, I decided I would do grocery work instead, just to be in a different part of the store.
Okay.
I went into the dairy cooler and filled a bunch of crates with dairy products like milk and yogurts. This took a lot of time to do because I had to check the dates on the products and such. Over the loud sound of the giant refrigerators keeping the cooler cold, I heard the door to the dairy cooler burst open. There was conveniently a gap in the boxes sitting on one of the pallets that allowed me to peek through it to the door of the cooler.
Of course there was.
And I shit you not, it was that same customer.
What the fuck?
I ran to cover under one of the shelves
You
and
can't
pushed
be
a
in
big
there.
box full of eggs in front of me. I didn't have to worry about making noise because the refrigerators were so loud. For anyone wondering why I decided to hide, well, I already assumed this guy was hanging around the store watching me. Seeing him in the employees only section, never mind that, coming into the dairy cooler, seemingly something bad was definitely about to go down.
Yeah.
I hid behind that box with my head down for the longest time, expecting to hear the doors to the cooler open and close eventually. After a while of hiding and not looking, I assumed maybe he left after looking for me. I lifted my head from my arms for the first time and looked up in front of the box and screamed. He was right there, smiling at me, standing over the box. But his smile vanished as soon as I started to scream. He tried putting his hand on my lips to muffle my scream, but I didn't allow that to go any further. I pushed the box of eggs over, right into him, and the eggs falling to the floor made him step back, looking down at his shoes. I ran right past him, but he didn't grab me, so I continued to run till I found another stock worker and told him to help me.
What the fuck?
The employee's name was Bob, I remember from his name tag. Suddenly, the man from the dairy cooler came up to the two of us and apologized, explaining that he was from corporate and was coming to make sure everything was running smoothly.
Yeah, okay.
He said he didn't mean to scare me and was simply checking up on me in the dairy cooler to make sure I wasn't slacking off.
Yep.
This Bob guy seemed to believe it all.
What?
Then again, he didn't seem very smart at all. I asked the man why he put his hand on my mouth.
Exactly.
And he said he was trying to avoid making a scene. Then, shockingly, he gave me the order to finish up the appliance section, and he disappeared.
You can
He was
suck my
speed
ass.
walking away
Thank you.
down the aisle. I called out, "What's your name?" And he called back, "Tom." And just like that, he was gone. The next day, I called one of the managers
it's not over
and
yet.
asked if there was supposed to be a visit from corporate the night before.
Nope.
And if a creepy man named Tom sounded familiar.
Yep.
My manager, Margaret, said it sounded like complete bullshit.
Yep.
There was no record of anyone from corporate named Tom who was supposed to come visit.
Yep.
Nor would anyone from corporate ever be in the store at 2 a.m.
Exactly.
They then went ahead and checked the camera footage, and a police report was filed when they realized this was a random man.
Yep.
And the cameras proved this man had been stalking me between the aisles for the better part of the first few hours of my shift.
Shit, that's terrifying.
I told Margaret I couldn't do night shifts anymore after that, and she understood. I still work there, but more so as a day stock person or a cashier.
It's still like, ugh, what if that guy comes back? Like, hey, Matt, you're just at work stalking, and then someone's like, it's like, I'm stuck making sure you're doing your job. Yeah, you can suck my ass.
What's one place you can go to and find the weirdest, freakiest creatures in our society?
Walmart.
I swear I've never been to a single Walmart where I didn't see at least one eye-catchingly strange human being.
I
Strange
go to
does
Walmart
not
a lot.
even cut it for what I'm about to tell you. It was the Thursday before Black Friday.
Oh, God.
My Walmart was open extra late.
Oh, no.
I was in there around 11 o'clock looking for a new laptop. And by chance, I picked up off the shelf the last one that was being promoted for a really good Black Friday deal. As I grabbed it, though, some big, revolting, dirty-looking guy comes up to me and insists he needs a laptop very badly.
I got it
nervously
first.
said, "I'm sorry, it's the last one."
I got it
And
first.
he got angry at me and started making a bit of a scene.
I got it first.
The man clearly wasn't normal, and my heart started racing simply because I don't get put on guard in these kinds of situations.
Yeah, like what?
As others looked on at the commotion this big guy was making, I walked away with the laptop box quickly and went straight to a line. He kept yelling at me as I walked away. It was unbelievable.
He's gonna attack you when
Some
you
other
leave.
customers on the line even tried to laugh with me and make me feel better, saying the guy was a nut.
You're a
So
nut.
I get home. My family's all asleep already.
Oh, you got home. Okay.
I go
good.
outside to sit in the yard by the pool and set up my new laptop.
Oh, no.
Then the light on the side of the house turned on. The one that turns on due to movement.
Yep. We have that
I
too.
went to check the side of the house to make sure no one was there.
Oh, someone's there.
Would that thing go off once in a while? Yeah. But there's a small patch of woods right next to the house.
Oh, no.
So animals would often run on the property, triggering it.
Oh, that's true.
Either
Yeah, we
way,
have animals doing that
I'm
too.
kind of a big pussy, so I went inside, locked the door, and finished setting up my laptop in the living room.
Me. That's me.
A car alarm suddenly started going off outside.
Okay, you better go.
I recognized it to be my Cadillac. I looked out the window to confirm this. I ran to get my keys upstairs, then tried pressing the panic button to turn off the alarm. It didn't work from the inside, so I stepped out to the porch and clicked it off. But then I noticed a car parked in front of our house that wasn't there earlier when I got home. And any cars parked in the street on our block was suspicious enough.
He followed you
We
home?
live in a closed-off community, and everyone has huge driveways.
That's terrifying. Shit.
I stepped down from the stoop.
Some big fat
I
guy
realized there
too?
was someone sitting in that car. I went back inside and locked the door. I went to my mom's room and told her I think someone outside means us harm. My mom and dad have a complicated situation, so my dad doesn't always stay with us. It would have been a different story having my dad there to tell about this. My mom came downstairs with me, noticeably worried based on what I told her. My mom took a look through the peephole in the front door, then gasped and put her hands over her mouth. I looked through it as well.
What?
And felt ready to throw up when I saw a huge man standing on the other side of the door on our stoop. I whispered to my mom, I think that man followed me from Walmart. Suddenly, the doorknob started to turn as the man tried opening the door.
How badly do you want a fucking
But
laptop,
it didn't work.
dude?
He started pounding on the door. That's when my mom let out a gasp and cry, and my younger sister came out from her room, who also started to panic when becoming wise to the situation.
Call the police now.
The pounding stopped, and there was a silence for a while,
Still call the police.
other than my mom's voice on the phone with the police. A few minutes went by. My mom's still on the line with 911 with police en route, and there was a loud bang and crash downstairs in the den.
Oh, shit.
A window was shattered.
That got me.
My mom and sister both screamed and cried. I told them to run upstairs while I locked the door to the den.
Fuck, that's terrifying. I hope he
I
gets
waited
caught.
down there, expecting an attempt at the door or a bang. Nothing. Surprisingly, I heard a police car briefly wail its siren outside my house. It was the quickest response time I'd ever heard of.
Good.
I ran outside to lead them to the den where the broken glass was. There, they found the huge, dirty, crazy-looking man hiding
Yes.
behind one of our couches.
Yes, they got him.
He was arrested at once and
Yes.
pressed charges.
Fuck
All
yeah.
the while, he was screaming profanities and threats at me,
I love
not
that.
helping his case.
Love that.
Both cops told me the guy seemed unstable and on some kind of drugs,
Clearly.
but told us to get a good night's rest because he wouldn't be bothering us again. So while it may be fun to people watch at Walmart and laugh at some of the goofy things you see, realize you may also find some of the more dangerous people in our society in your local Walmart.
Shit. I never really thought about that before. I just go to get whatever. I go to visit my friend that works there. Like, it's not really anything for shit.
Working the night shift at Walmart as a night stock person on the weekends.
Another
was my
night
second
shift.
job when I was finishing up college.
Another night shift.
I needed to pay off my loans, so I had to make money however possible. I didn't deal with customers or anything. I would just sign for night deliveries, do warehouse work, and
Deliveries?
stock shelves in the store during after hours.
Deliveries.
A typical shift would usually be either 11 to 7 or a 12 to 7.
That's
On
decent.
July 9th, 2015, a Thursday night, I still have it locked into my brain. I was midway through my shift in the electronics department when I saw in the corner of my eye someone walk past the aisle I was working in. This wouldn't usually catch my attention if it weren't for the fact that there were only two other workers in the building with me that night,
Oh, shit.
Alvin and Baco.
Baco.
They were both wearing the same staff shirts I was wearing. I would
Cool.
know because we all clocked in at the same time. The person I saw in the corner of my eye was wearing all black, so I naturally walked to the end of the aisle
That's
and did
sus.
a little peep around the shop.
That's already sus. Wearing all black.
No one was there.
It's like you're trying to hide and
I
kind
yelled
of
both Alvin and Baco's names, so when they didn't answer, it made it even stranger.
Yep.
But regardless, I went back to work. I was holding in a pee for a while, and I told myself I'd go when I finished work in that aisle. Seconds later, there was a huge crash a few aisles down. It actually startled me. I ran over to see what it was, and a bicycle was somehow knocked off its hook. The hook was still fine and in place. It seemed like someone would have had to put effort into knocking this down.
Yeah.
I hung it back up and started walking around the aisles, suspicious as hell. I got to the last aisle towards the back of the store, which was the paper and cleaning aisle. Then there was this freaky-ass sound that I could best describe as a laugh. sounded like it came from literally the next aisle over. So once again, I did a short run back to that aisle.
Shit.
I felt my heart drop when I saw a man dressed in all black, waiting by the end of the aisle, with his back facing me, but his head turned so that all I saw was only half his face.
Oh my god.
Then he suddenly ran. Not towards me, but down some other aisle. I heard his footsteps running around. I was faced with a choice of chasing after him or going to find my two co-workers.
Find your
I
coworkers.
chose the latter. All the while, I heard these freakish laughing sounds and footsteps that I honestly felt like were circling me.
What the fuck are you doing, man?
I found Alvin in the women's department and told him to be on the lookout for someone who wasn't meant to be in the building dressed in all black. We didn't have walkie-talkies, so I asked him to tell Baco if he ran into him. I excused myself because I couldn't hold it any longer. I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh no.
I ran to the employees-only bathroom, which was in the warehouse section. I put a nest of toilet paper on the seat in one of the stalls and sat down. And yes, I'm the kind of person to sit when I pee. The door to the bathroom opened and closed. Naturally, with 3 to 4 people in the building, I said, "Who is that?" And with no answer, I assumed the worst. I heard that horrific laughing again, and someone stepped into view from between the crack in the
Why
door.
the fuck is he there?
Looking right in, they stepped closer until
Like,
the
what-
crack was completely covered,
What
and
are you
all I saw of
doing?
their face was an eye. Then the whispering began. Unintelligible whispering, but the echo from the bathroom just made it more unsettling. I just remembered I had Alvin's phone number saved on my phone, so I got it out and called him at once. I was very loud with what I was saying, telling Alvin to get to the bathroom at once and help me. I stayed on the line with him and watched as the man on the other side of the stall laughed one more time, then ran out of the bathroom. I told Alvin to hurry, and 20 to 30 seconds later, Alvin entered the bathroom. He said he didn't see anyone on his way there. We didn't have any security guys working when the store was closed, so we couldn't even go look at the cameras. I stayed by Alvin the rest of the night, helping in whatever sections he was working in.
Should I be like, I'm
for his
going
safety
home, I
numbers.
quit.
I texted my boss that night, and when I woke up at 3 p.m. the next day, I read his response. He said all the camera screens returned static footage from the night before. Nobody went and turned them off as far as he knew. I got chills reading his texts.
Shit, he
He
turned it off.
believed my story and assumed it was related to the cameras, but with no video proof of a breaking and entering or trespassing, I don't think there was anything he could do.
Shit.
It was all above my pay grade, though. That was the only night shift I've ever had where something truly unexplainable happened.
Yeah, I feel like if you work during the daytime, it's like there's so many people there that it's kind of hard for anything like really suspicious and like, you know, like at night, 2 employees, 2, 3, and then you see some bitch in black, kind of like, hee. Hey, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. You're not supposed to be here. Get the fuck out of here. Thanks, bitch. But, I wonder what the comments are for this, because that was a good video. And nobody, blank, Mr. Namer uploads. Most of his fans about to go to bed. That's so accurate. That always happens. Me, finally, I can sleep and rest. Mr. Namer, I'm about to end this man's sleep. Shit. I'm gonna let my iPad charge. Mr. Namer uploads. Time to turn it back on. Yeah. Everyone's like, it was the Thursday before Black Friday, Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving. I'm not from the U.S., but I think it's in October. Ours is not October. Theirs is in November. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm not gonna. Whatever. I'm just gonna. Whatever. Yeah. But good video. Just be careful shopping anywhere. Be careful working anywhere, because creepy people. You can. It's one thing to have a bad customer, but it's one thing to have like a crazy customer that like will follow you home, kind of like Exhibit A, Story A. I mean. You never know. You just think, oh yeah, I'm just gonna steal his laptop, and then I'm gonna see the guy again. Nope, he'll break into your house. He's like, I'm getting that laptop. Like, I'm not taking no for an answer. Like, you buy it, okay, but I'm gonna steal it. Like, that was his mindset. I thought he was gonna get attacked when he got outside. So when he said I got home, I was like, oh, okay, you got home. But then he was in the background on his phone, and then well, on his laptop, and then of course the bitch goes out of nowhere. Like, how do you not notice someone following you though? You know what I mean? Like, my sister told me that she was doing her driving test once, and then the car was following her, which isn't really not that it's not that uncommon, because like people like to see where the driving test center is, even though you can just look it up. But they followed for a while, so they had to call 911 or something, and then I don't know if the police actually came, because I think they stopped, but I don't know. Just be careful wherever the hell you are, in a car, outside, just being followed. In a store, you think you're safe, you're not safe. You might be safe in the moment, but you're not going to be safe later. Just remember that shit. Like, I can never really, like, picture, you know. Yeah. So, yeah. That's basically it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe, and peace out. Yeah, I can't wait to do the thingy.